Hi there, and welcome to ActionCOACH's book club. Welcome to you. We've got a number of people join the session already. We're due to start in just a few minutes' time, so I'll just give a couple more minutes for more people to join, and then I'll be looking forward to spending the next sort of 25, 30 minutes with you, just going through a bit more about what Action Club and book club is all about. So just give you a few more minutes, and then I'll look forward to starting this session. Thank you. So just to double check that you can hear us, if you can just put your hands up, that'd be great, just to make sure that all the audio is working. With those who are here, that's great. Thanks for putting your hands up. That's brilliant. So my name is Steve Charman. I work for ActionCOACH here in Birmingham. I'm not sitting on the M6 at the moment. That's a picture of our offices where I'd normally be, should I be working from the office. But we've taken our book club online, and this evening is an opportunity just to share a bit more about what book club is about and how we see it working going forwards, and hopefully you'll find it interesting enough you want to continue to take part on a fortnightly basis or a monthly basis. But before we do that, I just want to tell you a bit more about ActionCOACH, who we are, and how we can hopefully support you in your business going forwards. I hope that you've been onto our website and see that we're offering a number of free webinars, free seminars, planning meetings at the moment, and book club is another product in our product ladder that we offer out to business owners and anybody really who has an interest in reading and has an interest in deepening their knowledge on how to run their business or different aspects of business through literature and through books. I've been running a number of webinars this week, and the common theme throughout them all, regardless of what the webinar is about having a plan and about making best use of the time right now while we're in lockdown to rethink our business strategy, to rethink about how we can invest time in ourselves and our staff. I'm a big fan of Blackadder, both reading the books and also watching the series. And I love the fact that Baldrick always says, "Don't worry, sir, I have a cunning plan." And now is the time more than ever to think about the plan in your business and how you can invest time in yourselves to drive your business forwards. In terms of ActionCOACH here in Birmingham, we are part of the world's #1 business coaching firm. We have more than 1,000 coaching offices in 80 countries. And I met Brad Sugars. He's the privately owns and funds ActionCOACH. He set it up over 25 years ago. And I met him in Edinburgh a few months ago. And I said to Brad, I said, "How many countries do you envisage ActionCOACH being in eventually?" And he said, "Well, at least 109, Steve." And I said, "Well, why 109, Brad?" And he said, "Because McDonald's are in 108. So he's got a real ambition for driving ActionCOACH forward as a business. And his vision is to create world abundance through business re-education. People often ask me what a business coach is. And I'll just skip on to the next slide. So the description that I always give in my response is, if you think of Eddie Jones, who's pictured there as the coach for the England rugby team, he's not there to teach that rugby team how to play. And in the same way, we are not here to teach you and teach other business owners how to run your business. We're here to give you guidance, advice, support, to use our own experience from myself and other coaches who work for ActionCOACH in Birmingham, to bring that and support you in running your business, give you ideas, guidance, tips, and help you work more effectively in your business. And the same as way as Eddie Jones is there to help the England rugby team work more effectively and play better together. And Tiger Woods there is a great quote from him: "No matter how tough you think you are, you can't do this on your own." And we've heard so much over the last few weeks about we're in this together, and we absolutely are in this together. And we here at ActionCOACH have been doing a lot of offering free webinars, free advice. I get up every day and just hope that through the work I do every single day, and I know my colleagues Glenn, Judy, and others at ActionCOACH in Birmingham, we just want to offer support, advice, and guidance to as many businesses in Birmingham as we can right now, to help you drive your business forwards, to give you the advice and guidance to help your businesses survive and, I'm sure, thrive into the future. What can you expect from the next sort of half an hour? I'm just going to do a little bit about mindset and then tell you a bit about book club and how it will work. And then there's an opportunity for you to ask any questions. I should have said, if you do have any questions, please do put them in the Q&A box at the top of the screen, and I'll do my best to answer those as we go along. But as I'm talking this evening, and if I was giving any other webinar, I'd be saying, please take notes and take them in full color. And the reason I say that is that our brain works in two very different halves. We have the logical half and the mathematicals. It's all about numbers, numerical side of our brain, and it's a very logical side. And then we have the artistic side of our brain, which is all colors and pictures. And what we're trying to do when we take notes, whether it be whilst we're reading a book, whilst we're doing our work, on day-to-day work, it's all about how we can get both sides of the brain working together. And there may well be things I say tonight or things you read in a book, and you'll have that aha moment. The moment where the brain makes a connection between two previously known but unconnected bits of information. And in ActionCOACH, we call those blinding flashes of the obvious. And you get those no more so than when you're training and spending time developing your knowledge, and also when you're reading or when you're investing time in yourself to deepen your knowledge of a particular subject area or a particular aspect of your business. And that's what we love about BookCLUB. And BookCLUB has been running for a number of months in person. We've had to put that now to one side because obviously we can't meet. So we wanted to take that same philosophy, the same idea of meeting together to enjoy reading and deepening our knowledge online through literature. Just about a quick slide about choice and accountability. So thank you for making the choice to join me this evening, and I hope that you get something out of this session with me. But we all have a choice in terms of where our business is right now, in our personal lives, and how we deal with the situation that we are facing right now. And I'm sure there are people you'll come across in life, in your business, in your organization, that will often be full of blame, excuses, and denial. And I know that even just watching the news at the weekend, I was seeing images of people on the beach having barbecues, people going for walks and gathering in larger numbers than perhaps they should at this moment. And there are still people in our communities and across the UK that are in denial about the current situation we're facing. They're full of excuses when challenged by those in authority about what their actions, and also they'll have blame for others. And it's just a really clear example of people who are slipping below the line and using blame, excuses, and denial for their choices and the position they're in at any one time. And we're all wired as human beings to be like that at times. I know that I slip below the line and my colleagues, but we take great fun in calling each other out and making sure that we don't think about why me, but we take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for everything we do. And the great analogy I've been using over the last few weeks in my presentations and my webinars is thinking of ourselves as a boat or a ship out at sea, and we are owning our own ship. And we are finding ourselves in choppy waters at the moment. But with the support of others on that boat and the support of other people around us, we can change the direction of that boat and which way it's traveling to make sure we get into calmer waters and drive it and sort of take that boat in the direction that we want it to go. There may be occasions where we have to put the anchor down and have to sit still and ride the storm out, but there are calmer seas ahead, and we just need to make sure that we have a real awareness of the boat, the direction of travel, how we're conducting our behaviours, that we're leading using the right language and a positive mindset and being accountable and responsible for our actions. And we're thinking about the how and the why and the who in terms of being positive and taking our business forwards. And that's where we'll get the energy from, by using this time to reflect, to be accountable, to deepen our knowledge. And if we start using that negative language, we're going to drain our energy. And guess what? People aren't going to want to work with us. They're not going to want to buy from us. They're not going to want to engage in our businesses going forwards. So now is a real time to shine, to be positive, and to think, how can we make best use of the time and the space that we've got to work on our businesses rather than being sort of firefighting day to day in our business. And there's a great guy called Jim Rohn, who's a great business coach. He influenced Brad to set up ActionCOACH many years ago. And he had two great quotes, which I just want to share with you. One was all about never wish your life was easier, but wish you were better. And the other one is to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And that's what partly BookCLUB is all about. BookCLUB is all about wishing you were better. It's all about working harder on yourself, investing that time in yourself to learn more about yourself, about your industry, about business principles, and then putting that into application. But doing it alongside other minded people who also have the same mindset and really want to deepen their knowledge of how they can better themselves in their work life, in their personal life, and ultimately grow their business to be more successful. Just want to share this and a couple of other mindset slides with you, and then I'll go on to talk a bit more about ActionCOACH and also the book club. So the demise curve is something that we have been using with clients for quite some time now. We come across in ActionCOACH clients on a day-to-day basis, and when we first talk to them, we say to them, well, how's the journey in terms of running your business? How has it been? And the deeper those conversations go, we realise that the dream and the vision they had when they set their business up has often not quite been the reality of what they've experienced. And they'll have challenges in their business, and they'll either be aware of those challenges or not aware of those challenges. And then sometimes if they're aware, they'll have started to put things in place to try and turn things around, but it's not quite worked. But what we're finding more and more now on a daily basis as we talk to business owners is there are business owners out there that are losing control through no fault of their own, but because of the circumstances in which they find themselves. And some really critical decisions need to be made about how they're going to drive those business forwards. And that's what we and others are there for, and that's what the government support is there for, is to give business owners the space and the ability to make some key decisions and a bit of a safety net as well. And we want to help you and help others turn businesses around and as I say, thrive and survive into the future. We all work well under a certain level of pressure. We have an optimum amount of pressure, which enables our performance to be at its best. And also, there are times when we need to really motivate ourselves and drive ourselves forwards. And I go back to the sporting analogy with the England rugby coach, Eddie Jones. And there are times when they're going out to play in their matches, and Eddie has talked about how he's had to really motivate and sort of really find that grit and determination to drive the team forward, to get them to play at their very best, both in the coaching sessions and before the game. Really needed that fire in the belly moment to really drive them, to help them be their best at what they're about to do. And there's also times when I can think of people, particularly recently, who are really feeling themselves overwhelmed, catastrophizing, and really in that position where they're under too much pressure and need to reduce that pressure level to be able to work at their best. So there are people out there who need more fire in their belly, and there are people out there who need more ice, need the ice pack to sort of help them get to the right place. And why am I saying this? Because I think, now is a time when we can work on the optimal performance and actually deepen our knowledge to help us find that grit and determination. It's about finding new ways in which to deepen our knowledge and help drive our businesses forwards. But also it's about making sure that you're working at the right pressure, under the right level of pressure in your business. In terms of learning, there are 4 steps to learning. There is the unconscious incompetent. There is the conscious incompetent. There is the conscious competent. And then there is the unconscious competent. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me take an example of driving a car. The unconscious incompetent, a small child doesn't know that they can't drive. And then one day they realize that they actually can drive, but they don't know how. So they become the conscious incompetent. And then they start taking lessons. They need to be constantly aware of the mirrors, the clutch, the braking, and the learner driver. They become the conscious competent. They start learning how to manage that vehicle for the first time. And then I can imagine if you're behind the wheel of the car now, I don't know when you last drove or last went out, but do you think about putting your foot on the clutch? Do you think about how much you turn the steering wheel? Do you think about changing the gear? Because we've then got to the point where we are the unconscious competent. We are able to do what we do without thinking about it every day we get in the car. But then we get to the stage where somebody says, "Great, can you go and hire a van for me? Or could you hire a 7.5-ton truck? I need to move house." And that takes you into a whole new sphere where you're going from being the unconscious competent, you then become consciously incompetent and have to start that process all over again. So why am I sharing this? Because we are all skilled in our work lives, we're skilled in running our business, but there is always something that we don't know. There is something else we can learn about driving our business forwards. We don't know what we don't know. And so Book Club is all about discovering a new love of knowledge for books, and also about exploring different ways of applying different techniques, different skills in our business to help drive our business to be more successful in the future. And it's also about thinking, where are you now and where do you want to be in terms of the levels of knowledge? And one of the conversations I always have with business owners when I'm talking to them is thinking, well, why did you set your business up? And what was the journey like? And where do you see yourself in the future? And then thinking about the journey that they've been on. And then one of the other questions I have is, well, what time have you invested in yourself in terms of educating yourself and driving your knowledge deeper so you can be more effective in your business? And some of the things I talk about is, how much time do they spend watching videos, educational business videos online? And there's a huge amount of content out there. We produce a number of series of videos ourselves. We've got 30x biz videos out there at the moment. Brad Sugars, our founder, has put a lot of content out there on video at the moment. If you're not somebody who finds it easy to read, and I admit I'm not the avid bookworm. I do love reading, but I'm not a bookworm by any means. But what I do is I use audiobooks. I subscribe to Audible and listen to books on there so that I can make best use of my time also when before the lockdown, where I was commuting around and using that time to listen to audiobooks as well. How many books do you read? I mean, if I was to ask you a question, how many books have you read in the last month that are business related that you can then take your learning and apply in your business? And that's where it comes to the practical application. So that's what Book Club is all about. It's about rediscovering that love of reading, that love of sort of searching for knowledge that you can really apply in your business that's help you to get where you want to be, driving yourself forward to be the best that you can. In terms of the paths ahead, this is a slide I've been using in many webinars over the last few weeks, and just wanted to share this with you in terms of the 4 or the 5 phases of how we see it here at ActionCOACH over the next 3 or 4 months. We don't know quite what the timescales are going to be, and hence there's no timescale on the slide. But where we find ourselves at the moment, through no fault or no decisions that we've taken, but we find ourselves in this period of lockdown. And at the first stage of lockdown, there was quite a lot of panic and anxiety amongst business owners, amongst employees, amongst people generally. It's a very uncertain time. We don't quite know the direction of travel. Things are becoming clearer. And as we've seen, there's been an unprecedented amount of support provided by the government to help stabilise the economy and to help provide support for business owners. But now at lockdown in phase 1, it really is about taking that time to make sure we've got things in place for our family, our personal finances, getting ourselves in the right mindset, and rediscovering some energy to move forward. In terms of our business, it's about looking after our staff. It's about making sure we've got the right finances in place for the business to see us through the next few months. It's been about making some critical decisions about whether mothballing your business or parts of your business is the right thing to do right now. And also for many of us, it's about seeking any government and support or other support, financial support that's available to us to help sustain ourselves and our businesses over the next few months. But phase 2, the reason I put this slide on here is phase 2 is absolutely critical for any one of us that wants to drive our business forwards and be successful going forwards. It's all about using this time for training and development for both yourself as a business owner, and also the key question I've had asked time and time again on the webinars that I've been running is, if I have staff on furlough, can they do training? And the question is absolutely yes. So staff can do training that's related to their business, they can access government training, and they can certainly use this time to take part in things like book clubs, where they can deepen their knowledge and their skill set to help them equip themselves for when phase 3 and phase 4 come along. Phase 3 is all about getting your business, putting into place some of the strategies and training and skills and reviews that you've been doing in phase 3. In phase 2, phase 3 is about starting to put those in place to warm yourself up, to warm your business up, ready for what I've been saying is going to be the sprint of your life moving forwards. And also the other conversation I've been having with business owners over the last few weeks is the environment, the business environment in which we've been working and operating in the last few years, the last few months, is very different, in my view, and it is my personal view, to the business environment and the way we're going to be operating moving into the future. I can give many examples of business owners I've been talking to over the last few weeks that are discovering new ways of running their business, new markets. They've gone virtual because they've been forced to go virtual online, and they've been using different techniques and delivering services in a different way, accessing customers and encouraging new business in a different way that they've never done before. And part of doing that is about making sure you've got the right skill set and the right amount of knowledge and the right knowledge levels to drive your business forwards. So if, for example, you've never done digital and social media marketing before, maybe there's a book we can look at in Book Club that would cover that. If you're managing your team in a very different way on virtual, managing your team in a virtual way, which most of us will be doing right now, there are books which we can look at and explore together, which will help us grow and deepen our knowledge in that area. So Book Club is great for helping us sort of explore new aspects of business, and also it's saying that's sociable, enjoyable, and fun. So why choose Book Club? So Book Club is a business-focused book club. So here at ActionCOACH, there are many book clubs. It's a structure and a process that's been around for many, many years. It's a reading group, but we at ActionCOACH are specifically focused on business books and that are relevant to current issues. We want to bring together people who experience and enjoy the experience of loving to read or listen to audio books. And we also want to draw attention and look at books that you wouldn't normally buy or borrow from the library. We also, one of the key things is about applying the learnings and see the results on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis. And it's also an opportunity for us as a group and us as coaches who are going to be working and joining you on the book club journey to challenge the thought process, to have those open conversations and challenging conversations in a safe environment, to help all of us look at things from a different angle and sort of understand things from different perspectives. And it's also a personal investment in yourself and your team. So there's some really good reasons there why to choose Book Club and why to come and join us with our book club online. So what's the purpose? Well, it's about people coming together who have the same interest. It's about having a detailed discussions of our interpretations and our learning. One of the key things about Book Club, and I found this in the past, is if you are somebody who struggles to find the time or to put the time to one side to read, it's about accountability of each other within the group. So holding each other to account, and that's one of the key things about coaching we find when we're working with clients. It's about that accountability to other people on a regular basis. It's about being able to share your feedback on a book in an open and safe environment. It's about finding the strength and building support and momentum. It's about taking time out. And it's also about learning the love of reading again. And I love that image that's on the screen with you right now. So that's why we're here. That's the purpose of why we're setting this book club up online. It's to help you. It's to help people you may know. And we'd love you to encourage your friends, your family, people who you think would have a genuine interest in business books. And they're not all sort of, when I say business books, I'm thinking about when I was at university and some of the books I read. They are really interesting books. I've got some examples here. I've got the E-Myth, which I'll come on to in a moment. I've got the Five Dysfunctions of a Team, which is a great book by Patrick Lencioni. He also does a book called Death by Meeting. And we've got a really well known here, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So the books are really, really interesting, and they're all written in slightly different ways. And here, just to give you some examples of some of the titles which we are suggesting, but it's not exclusive. It's not an exclusive list. And if you have suggestions that you might want to put forward, then we're really keen to hear from you and to choose books that everyone is interested in. And we also want to make sure we're choosing books that are relevant to the current climate and the current environment in which we're working. We also want to choose books that are sort of have a generic business aspect to them, that are not too industry specific. Because we will be having people from different industries. And one of the great things about ActionCOACH and what we talk about with many of our webinars is we are not professing to know how individual industries operate on a detailed level. But what we do know is we have a knowledge of the basic principles at work that are applicable to any specific business. So whether that is the basics of finance, marketing, social media, sales strategies, there's all sorts of aspects that are applicable regardless of whether you're a funeral director, an ice cream maker, a florist, whatever business you work in right now. The basic principles or the generic principles of business are where most of these books will be focused. So I've mentioned the E-Myth there. That's a great book. I've read that, and I'm willing to. It'd be great to go through that again with you. I say there's a great one. There's 2 books on meetings I've got on my bookshelf. I've got this one, the Death by Meeting, which is by Patrick Lencioni. I've also got the Ladybird version of Death by Meeting, which is a bit of a comical one. I had it as a Christmas gift one year. But there's a great book. I say I'm currently reading the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Again, great aspects to pick out on how to get teams working better together. And of course, I've read this a couple of times Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He also does another follow-up to this, which is called The Speed of Trust, which again is a great book. It's not on the list there, but those are just some of the books that I have found really interesting. I've also been read recently Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but there's a number of books on there, and some of them are, of course, by our founder, Brad Sugars. But I would say here it's not an exclusive list. So really we want to come up with books by consensus. I appreciate the first one we will probably choose because we want to, until we get to know each other and what each other's interests are and where interests and passions lie in terms of driving the book club forwards. But I suspect we'll probably start with the E-Myth, but again, there's some opportunity for input from those who are interested and want to join us. In terms of how book club operates, so I've got a slight sync in my bullet points here. So we're looking at running 2 sessions per month. Previously, we were running 1 session every month because people were working in a different way. They were going to work every day and perhaps didn't have as much time to put to one side to focus on reading books. But we feel at the moment there's probably time for most people who want to take part, with people being on furlough or spending more time at home. There's probably enough capacity to have two sessions per month with 2 books per month. We recommend that each session is about 2 hours. That gives you the time to have the full discussion from 4 till 6. Again, there's some flexibility on the timings. If we find that people in the group, once we've got it established, would rather have it slightly later, we can do that as well. We're looking to have our first session on the 9th, where we'll introduce our first book and have a chat with all those who register with us to take part. And then we'll be following that one with a fortnightly follow-up call in between the sessions for about 10 minutes. We'd obviously be available for questions via email, and we want to set up a WhatsApp group to keep the communication going between the online sessions as well. What we ask of all the participants is that they prepare a summary of the book before the session and share that with myself. And also, we'd also offer access to all the online video coaching sessions as well. I talked about video at the beginning, and we want to offer that as part of the package. In terms of cost, I've put £15 or £30. The reason I've done that is what we suggest is it costs £15 per book that we read, and we supply the book to you. So, I mean, this isn't a profit-making thing for us here at Action Coach. It's really a passion on our behalf to get people out there using this time that they've got more available of now to deepen their knowledge, to expand their knowledge, and look at how we can bring people together to enjoy the love of reading and have a focus on business books. So we're saying £15 per book. So if we decide to do 1 book a month, it'll be £15. If we decide to do 2 books a month, it'll be £30. And say that includes us sending the book to you via Amazon. And most books, as I say, are between £10 and £15 per book. So I'm just looking at the Stephen Covey one in front of me. Yeah, that was £13.99. So, you know, we reckon £15 gives us a bit of flex to choose good quality books and to get them sent out to you via Amazon as well. So that's how it works. Each meeting is structured around an agenda. So each member will present a book summary in 1 page, and they'd share that on the screen or share it via WhatsApp just before the meeting. They'd then follow that by discussion within the group. There'd be conclusions. Each member would make a commitment to apply something from the learning in the group and take it away, and then come back the following week or the following session to feedback on how that's been applicable in their business and what they've done as a result of the learning in the book club. So getting the most from the book club, we don't want it to be a strict and dictatorial environment by any means, but to get the most from it, what we would ask, as with any group really, is to people attend on time and have some courtesy. You confirm your attendance or let us know if you're not going to be able to make it. If we make contact with you between the groups, or there's messaging online specifically towards you as a member, that you just have the courtesy to get back to us or get back to other members within 24 hours to keep that communication going. Because if somebody's got a challenge or got some queries on a book and they're reading it, we want to make sure there's a consistent flow and a timely flow for the book club as well. We want people to feel they can be open and honest in their communication and conversation, both in the sessions and between the sessions. Feel that people can speak honestly about how they're feeling about the book and share their views without the fear of being criticised or sort of put down. So we ask for honest and open communication. We ask that everyone makes a commitment to read the book and make the summary. And as I started out at the beginning about taking ownership, accountability and responsibility, we ask that people stay above the line right through out the book club sessions and in between the sessions. So no sort of excuses, no blame and no denial for not having done the work or read the book. We want everyone to take ownership, take the book away, read it, and come back fully committed and fully willing to immerse in the conversation and really wanting to get the most out of the book club. And that's where I come back to 100% participation. That's really what we're looking for as part of this book club. And we're really keen to grow the book club. So, you know, if you've got colleagues, if you've got team members, you know, what more fun could you have by bringing people you know along to the book club with you? You know, it's great fun. I'm part of various networking groups online each week, which is, you know, it's great supporting each other, business colleagues that I know. I use Zoom within the family, and it's a great virtual tool to use, especially at the moment as we're all restricted in our movements and meeting up with people. So, you know, it's great to bring your colleagues along, bring your friends and family, you know, with the caveat that they've got a clear interest and a real desire to learn more from the kinds of books that we're going to be looking at. So yeah, do bring your colleagues along and anybody else who you think might be interested in book club with Action Coach. And just before I finish, I just want to share a couple of other ways in which we feel we can help you over the coming weeks and months whilst we're in this very uncertain time running our businesses and sort of making key decisions. And hopefully you've been onto our website, which is where you found out about book club this evening and this sort of taster or introduction to book club. We're also offering free coaching sessions. We're offering free webinars. We had a great one today with a digital marketing expert. We've got one tomorrow with a lady called Claire Lawton from Acorn Support, and she's an HR specialist. So if you've got questions and queries about HR issues, come and join us tomorrow for that webinar. We're also doing 90-day planning webinars, which is where you can think about having your 90-day plan. So what are you going to do week by week to achieve 4 or 5 key goals, key targets in your business over the next 90 days. And again, that is starting, we've been doing 2 of those each week, but we've got one tomorrow morning, I believe at 11 o'clock. Our details are on the website of all of those, and the website address is in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, birmingham.actioncoach.co.uk. If you go onto the website, you can find details on our front page. There's a link to all our upcoming events, and you can find out about that there. As you can see on there, I've just been talking for the last half an hour about book club. £30 to include 2 books, £15 if we decide just to do 1 a month. But I'm hoping there'll be enough momentum and enough people out there that will really want to be able to get through a book in a fortnight and come back and then pick up another book as well. I just encourage you to link in with us on LinkedIn, connect with us on Facebook, and to visit our website to find out more about how we can help you. So that's it from me this evening. I just wanted to share a bit about book club. I hope that's encouraged you to get involved. I hope that's whetted your appetite, and I'll just see if there are any questions out there. I'm just looking on the question and answer box to see if there was anything out there. There's a question, somebody saying, how can we assure you get the books? We will make sure we send them out via Amazon. What we'd like to do is, the reason we've got the session next Wednesday on the 9th is we want to just talk about the book we're going to be launching, and then we'll get the book out to you. We believe that 2 weeks is enough time, but we'll play it by ear a bit. If we find there's issues in getting the books to you in the post, then we might have to extend that to every 3 weeks. But no, our intention is to use Amazon Prime, and it still seems to be working at the moment. So we'll get the books directly to you, delivered to your home address or preferred place of whether it's a place of work or place of home. For most people, I'm assuming it'll be a place of home. So that's a great question. And I've just got one more question come in. Starting on the 9th of April. Yes, Susan, starting on the 9th of April, I believe. I should have it on, it's on the website. I'm sure it is the 9th. That is the plan. So yeah, it'd be great to see you. There's just been another question coming in. How will we get book in 2 days? So what we're going to be doing on the 9th is, so we're doing another session on the 9th, which is a session similar to this, but we'll actually talk about the first book we're going to launch. So we'll do that on the 9th, and then we'll get the books out to you in the post so that you've then got 2 weeks to read the book. So we just want to make sure, so on the 9th, we'll have everyone together, get to know each other. We'll talk about the first book, which I think is going to be the E-Myth, and then we'll get that sent out in the post to you. And then we'll put a date in the diary for 2 months time, 2 weeks time to come back and join us again. So thank you for those questions. I hope you found this evening really useful. I do look forward to you joining us on Wednesday. That'll be the last of the taster sessions. We'll talk about the book we're going to we're going to launch. So just one more question. Thanks, Pam. How do you join? So we'd really love you to come along on Wednesday. What we'll do is we'll follow up each of you this evening. We've got your details. If you just want to put your email addresses in the question and answer box, we'll make sure that we send you an email with the full details of how you can sign up. We'll take payment online. We'll send you either an invoice, or we can take payment over the phone, either whichever way works best for you. I say it's literally just to cover the cost of the book. And then the rest of the time is, our time at the moment is free of charge. We just want to work with you, and hopefully you'll get something out of this. So thank you so much for joining us. It just remains me to say thank you, stay well, stay safe. If you just want to put your email addresses in the Q&A box, that would be great. And then I'll make sure we've got those from you. We'll contact you directly, and please do join us on the 9th. I'll send you details of that via email as well. And we'll be talking about the first book we're going to read together. So thank you. Have a great evening, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.